everywhere. Now up to the sun, yeah, let's come together. I go. They say you not there, we stand, but there we fall. If we not celebrate, we do it for you. Voila, you forget that. You from Lova Country, you from Maryland. Voila, you from Rewa Sessu. I'm a bastard, we own your people. I walk on the fine way. Tabila, Kriwako, I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Freeland on liberty, Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Play for me and you, Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
I was raised in the swamp, but I chilled with my guns. Kept it on the low, but we fought for the bones. True son of the soil, I'm a prince in my own. Never gonna lie, me, I love LIB.
Oh yes, that is the beauty of the song. It introduces the most fascinating program and the biggest thing happening on radio at about this time all across the country, Liberia. You are listening to ELBC 99.9, and the program you're listening to is called Open Conversation. Open Conversation is a 2-hour current affairs program that talks about or that excavate the major happenings in the country, and these things are talked about to bring mental relief to the people and demystify the lies that are circulating the perimeters or the corridors of our political scenes. Today is this should be the seventh day of November, and the year is 2023. That means we have exactly 7 more days to the decision-making process of our country, where we're going to be electing a new leadership. So welcome all of you. Let's go in-house now, where we will welcome in our in-house panelist, one firebrand and very, very, very spirited discussant. Daniel, good evening and welcome.
Good evening.
Your microphone is open. Mic 3.
Yes, good evening to you, Washington. Good evening to you, Titi. It's awesome being back here today. Like you say, it's a fiery day. Mm-hmm. So we're all set for what's happening today.
That's good. That's good. And let's go to the lone female, the most firebrand female. Good evening, Titi.
Washington.
Yes.
Your crewman.
Present.
No problem. I understand. But it's good to be back here again. Today's what? Wednesday, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Today's Wednesday. Thank God. It's Wednesday. It's ladies' night, and we're here. By this time next week, we'll be talking something different.
No, today's Tuesday, please.
Really? Oh,
Yes.
By this time next week.
By this time next week,
we'll be talking who's leading, who's
the country
dropping.
is going to be.
Yeah, who's leading, who's dropping. Yeah, that's what we will be talking next week.
Yeah.
Okay, but we want to thank God for another wonderful day of life that we can give ourselves, but God has blessed us with life, and so we're grateful. And we like to say good evening to all of you joining us, be it via the radio or our social media platform. We'd like to welcome you. And this is Open Conversation. Let's continue to keep the conversation civil and open. So let's do it. This evening, we will play host to representative candidate. Is that the best way to introduce him? Yeah, defeated representative candidate Rufus Newville was set with us this evening on our Open Conversation. Mr. Newville has pledged his support to the re-election bid of His Excellency the President of the Republic of Liberia, President George Weah. And so we will talk to Rufus. What does he bring to the table? We'll be discussing all of that this evening. And why does he think that President Weah is the best of the two and the race?
Seems good.
Yeah. So let's go to what's trending in our country.
Open Conversation has a trend, and we talk about the trending issues. We've already introduced our guest, and there are a couple of things happening. I'm sure you're informed that Liberia has made a significant impact with the MCC score or card. That is tremendous.
As far as we know, that's the biggest news of today.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
It's
that's
tremendous.
the biggest news of today. So it's something to talk about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Worth talking about.
Yeah. So, the scorecard, this is something that Liberia has. Liberia got qualified because we spoke with the Minister of Finance today. I think we should just play his voice and you listen to what he had to say concerning that.
Correct.
And then we can just
chit chat from there.
Talk about it
Correct.
right now. Exactly. So let's go for that recording with the Minister of Finance, and then we can get straight to it.
Are we good?
Okay. Yeah, we're trying to find that. So let's.
I think we got to.
Let's talk about something else, and then we get it going, because she's trying to find that.
Yeah, because that the scorecard, the results come at a point in time when we're going towards a runoff, and there's been issue of corruption coming from the opposition Unity Party. There's been issue of fiscal indiscipline coming from the Unity Party. There's been, most importantly, they've always said that this administration, has failed to improve unemployment. But contrary to what the scorecard shows today, it is a contradiction to everything they've been saying. We have, for the first time since 2007, we've passed the fiscal policy score under the scorecard, which is a very big aspect for Liberia, because it shows that the administration has got the fiscal discipline to manage, the country's, fiscal policy. But also, what it also expresses, TT, in the last 12 years, you had volumes of international organizations pumping in money into this economy. Mm-hmm. And imagine at that time, these guys were very fiscally indisciplined. But these were the people who were basically, trying to tell the world that President Weah's administration lacks the intellectual and the academic capacity to be able to run the administration in the affairs of the country. But this is an administration just under 6 years. Imagine they didn't succeed in this in 12 years. Just in our 6 years, we were able to pass that fiscal score that they've never. So this is something that I think Liberians that are listening, especially if you get the excerpt from the finance minister's interview today, they will be able to hear that we've been doing a lot more. Okay, even in area of employment. That's why the first pillar, power to the people, has exemplified this government's ability to have more young people, gainfully employed. And when we talk about employment in Liberia, like we've always argued, we kind of want to focus on, the private sector, the public-private partnership, something that has been putting a lot of, Liberians back, into the different job environments, contrary to what they will say that government has to employ all of these people. So if I was looking through the scorecards, in fact, I took my time from 2007 when I was coming. I realized that we as an administration has got some consistencies in terms of, our, managing those scores. And every time the results came up, there was an increase in the scores. And
so we've passed the, this is the second time we're passing it. Mm-hmm. The Unity Party government, it started during the tenure. They were not able to make a pass. And, that also demystifies the myth that was spilled on Spoon FM last evening by Amara Kone, senator-elect, because he was finance minister, and under his leadership, Liberia did not do well. And with all of the denigrating comments that came from him towards the current finance minister, as opposed to what he did under his administration, because Amara Kone is known for budget shortfall. That is his nickname. And Kone, every time we had budget shortfall, but he had a lot to say yesterday concerning the current finance minister. But under this finance minister, we passed before, but we did not meet the indicators, because you have to meet certain, indicators. And you have to pass 10 out of the 20. But Liberia even went further to pass 14.
The last time we did 12.
14 out of the 10, which qualifies Liberia now, that Liberia can apply now for the
500 million.
For the compact. That is a big news, because we talked about corruption. We talked about, our fiscal policy, how we struggle with all of that. Employment opportunities. This scorecard is telling you that we've made progress.
Significant progress.
Not just progress, but significant progress in those directions. So it tells you that we have scored big, as opposed to Guinea failed, right? Even Sierra Leone, I think Sierra Leone got 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 out of 20 or 9 out of 20. I think Sierra Leone got 10 out of 20. So
something
if you
around,
got 10,
something around
that's fine. You didn't fail, but you must.
But there are some key indicators. Even if you did 10, there are some key indicators that must be reflected that qualifies you, to apply. So it's not just
especially fiscal policy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not just the issue of you just passing the scorecard.
Yes.
But you must have. There are some
significant
prominent
corruption, fiscal, all those things are part and parcel. So one of the things that I would love to talk about.
Do we have the recordings?
Is it set up?
Is it set up now?
Do we have the recordings from
please
the
get
finance
it.
minister?
Okay.
So let's bring that, and then we can go ahead with our conversation.
Okay,
let's
sure.
play that recording. So Michelle Pretty Boy is still looking for that. Who gave you that name, Pretty Boy? In fact, when you can't even find our recording when you want to find it.
You
Why are
got
you
it now?
laughing?
No.
Okay, so he's trying to
Pretty
prove
Boy
that he's
finds
pretty
it, so he
anyway,
put it.
It's going up. Alongside this, we also see sustained positive growth. I mean, when we took office, growth was in a negative. Today, we're looking at around 4.8% GDP growth. President Weah has really shown remarkable fiscal leadership, remarkable governance. There are still challenges in the country, let it be said, that there are significant structural challenges. We still have to continue to improve governance in a whole host of areas. Those will be the big things that we'll look at in the president's second term. But what this shows first today is that president is leading the country in the right direction. Contrary to propaganda, misinformation, lies that have buffeted this government since 2018, all kinds of misinformation. President Weah is the first social media president. So he was the first to confront all of the lies, to have dealt with all of the lies. I can say the man knows how to deal with challenges and surmount them. Like in his football career, he begins with difficulty and then he ends with triumph. This is like the icing on the cake. Few days to election. International partners, an objective assessment of the country's performance. Liberia is doing better than many people believe. We're doing great. And we can do better. We will still continue to do better under the president.
So, Minister Twe, just two quick questions before we take leave of you. Who is behind this scorecard, 1? And 2, I heard you say that Liberia, this is the second time we're passing this scorecard under President Weah's leadership. Did we do better than we did before today?
That is correct. We just improved on our score last year. So the scorecard is administered by the Millennium Challenge Corporation. It's a U.S. government agency that administers aid. So we have the first compact, and since then, we're trying to qualify for our second compact. To qualify, you have to show successive passes. You have to show continued, consistent improvement in the quality of governance. And so when the MCC board meets, they can review the country's application and say, we see measured progress in a range of indicators. Investing in people, we're making some improvements there. Fighting corruption, we're doing that. We're doing well on access to finance, on trade and commerce as well. So it's a government-wide effort. It's a collective, success. All of us working hard for the president of being able to make this happen. So this is a good thing. It shows that the country is getting better under George Weah. It also presents Liberia the opportunity to apply for a major compact. It has enhanced the chance of being successful in our application for a compact.
It has increased the chance for us to apply for another compact. That is, his last comments there. But again, it shows that we've made significant, progress in the governance of our country, and that the government has made significant progress.
So the finance minister started by acknowledging that in the last 6 years, this government was raveled by different, barrage of, protestations and, accusations and counter accusations regarding some of the things that, that basically we met here, and we were taking the bullets and the shots for all of those things. And he also talked about the fact that despite all of those things that were happening, the president was focused. The president had one major advantage. Like the finance minister said, the president was the Facebook president, the social media president, because so he was on top of all of these trivialities that were confronting the national government. And as these things, I remember when the issue of the 16 billion, after the president took office, just before the 16 billion came, there was a serious fiscal challenge because the structure, the financial structure, that budgetary structure that was in place before we came, was so unfavorable to the extent that if we had moved ahead as they perceived from the beginning, because they were saying that we wouldn't even go 3 months and we were able to pay civil servant salaries and too many things, they said. So the economic management team, headed by the Minister of Finance and supervised by the President, had a meeting, and they had to reconsider a fiscal recalibration. It is that fiscal recalibration that has put a lot of monetary activities into proper perspective that has led Liberia today to passing, especially the fiscal aspect under the MCC or scorecard. But let me say this. It is also unfortunate and bewildering for the former finance minister, who, of course, for me, if you put him and Twe on the pedestal, you see that Twe would be like a mercury against a salt. Okay, the weight cannot be compared. Minister Twe was once a consultant minister of finance, and he understood the challenges that they weren't listening to at the point in time. He lived through these challenges, helped them to that extent. When he became minister of finance, all of the place, the knobs and the different schools how to go, he started to identify these places and work on them. So for him to go on spoon and try to reduce the office of the finance minister, a finance minister who worked under the harshest environment ever in the history of our country, especially in an environment where there's no war. Minister Twe's administration as the finance minister was almost equivalent to wartime. They gave him no time to do anything. But guess what? This is a man, like you said, with the president, who has had the discipline of being focused, working under extreme circumstances. When that fiscal recalibration was done, it created sanctity in the different ministry agencies and public corporations in terms of public spending. The monies that were garnered from the different managements in the different areas, cutting here, cutting there, you understand, and making adjustment there, and also enforcing the public-private partnership aspect of our government. It brought a lot of integrity. In fact, one of the areas that was really troubled was the integrity of the CBA of Liberia. Our reserves were already dug into. Central bank had no credibility. The commercial banks that were reliant on the central bank were being troubled. It took the resilience of a finance minister who was confronting the alleged quote-unquote fake 16 billion, who had to even employ 21st century novel concepts to ensure that our financial roadmap had a new direction. Today, this man should be the one, receiving the accolade from people like Amara Kone, who had his own person. Amara Kone was the only finance minister who had a special budget was over $7 million every year just to his office. They have for miscellaneous, they have for accidental, and all kind of crap.
Yet he never passed the MCC.
Yes, he never passed the MCC scorecard. So this is the person that we're going to listen to. Liberia should be appreciated. You see, this is a clear manifestation of President Weah's ability to listen and to deliver where the most goes services are required for our Liberian people. We talk about employment before you come in. They said that the finance minister said under our administration we're going to put more than 5 million or 1.5 million Liberians into employment cycle. You know what they said? Guess what? The MCC scorecard has just manifested that the first pillar under the proper agenda for prosperity and development part to the people has been implemented to a large extent. How? When the central bank regained its integrity, the commercial banks started to lend heavily. These lendings were focused in commercially driven environments. Take, for example, let's look at the construction of the first steel processing plant in our country. Is as a result of the strength of the commercial bank that is being guided by the central bank. Let's look at the agricultural sector that has boomed and many other industrial sectors in our country. So you find out that when these sectors, especially the public-private partnership that is already currently ongoing, take for example the mini hydro that's been built in Ofa, is as a result of a PPP. Now you come to realize that more Liberians are gainfully employed in this area, whether in the business sector, whether in the company sector, but in the private sector, we've been able to put more Liberians. So it has been reflected on that scorecard that employment has been a priority. In fact, we've made higher marks than even the last time. So for people to understand that the Minister of Finance, as compared to the former Minister of Finance, who was a pampered Minister of Finance, had in fact, he was a baby that was carried around. He had everything to his disposal. A man who was fed administration, anything he wanted. Toye had to struggle his way. So he shouldn't go on spoon platform to even try to compare these both administration, because you put them in a square box. I'll give you just 3 minutes. The world will know that Toye has done way better than what he's done. So that's not the kind of discussion he should focus now on his senatorial leadership for that Babulu County and leave the issue of criticism, because Liberians are critically aware that this government has delivered and they are still delivering on the many promises that they've made. Like the minister said, we still have some structural challenges in the areas of governance and what have you. But guess what? It is a progressive responsibility of this administration to ensure that gradually, whoever thought that government agencies and public corporations who have been ejected from private properties into their own, saving government millions of dollars at the end of the year.
With all of the money that came, they didn't even think about
Exactly.
that.
So these are things Liberians should look at and say, this is a more responsible government. You had COVID-19, you had a financial scourge that hit our economy, but we're able to resuscitate the economy. We're able to reduce inflation from double digit to a single digit.
Yeah, single digit.
And these people are the ones who want to tell Liberians what they already know. Is unfortunate.
So the thing here is, Daniel, the thing here is real simple. You see, the score made by the Liberian government is a clear demonstration of acute leadership. The scorecard indicates, that's why they have the indicators in the scorecard, the performances of the government in different sectors. And 14 out of 20 is a tremendous effort that the Liberian people in these critical times of our country history will have to have a sober reflection and to think. If you do a comparative analysis on the Amara-like leadership, who was in studio last night saying all of the detestable and things about the finance minister and his leadership, definitely the Unity Party, they were here 12 years. They could only have just a single mark of passing the MCC compact. Here is it. This government has, within 6 years, made a successful pass over 2 of the MCC compact. So if you do an analysis, we talk about job creation, you talk about a rule of law, you talk about this, you talk about that, you talk about managing the fiscal policy of the country, you talk about a whole lot of things. To pass the MCC compact, it isn't a joke, it isn't just ordinary thing. It takes serious, thinking, working. It takes a lot. That you give 12 years to a particular people. 12 years school, they could only make 1 pass. And like Daniel said, roughly about 4 years, right? Because we have the interplay of COVID and other, natural disasters that we have no control over. with all of what the Minister of Finance and the government officials and everybody are going through to see how we best collaborate and make sure that Liberia is making its gain. The government is improving on these things, job creation. Let's understand, no government just start wasting job all over the place. But this compact is telling the Liberian people that in particular and in specific sectors, the government has outperformed. So the people need to go and look at all of these things and examine and know how the government has been able to make its way in securing this particular compact. So we just want to give it out to the government. We want to give it out to the people of Liberia. It's a tremendous effort, and this is the reason why they have to make their case. That's why they're making the case, so that the Liberian people can judge between the yesterday and the today.
So before you come in, let me just, I like the topic on the discussion, and it is important that we talk about it some more because, many Liberians today, especially the mass of our people, we come to think to understand, but what is the MCC that the government happy about? How does it affect us in a way? It is important, my people. It is important because if your government applies now for this money here, President, we are already made provision of an opportunity to extend the electricity coverage across the country by trying to he's already talked about it. I think it's a simple to do another hydro, right? Going towards Basel entity. Okay. Your president will be able to identify fundings from within there to have that done. You know what's going to happen? Many countries in the world that are developed, especially in Africa, let's go to East Africa. The industrialization of electricity across these countries has created opportunities for industries to move in those parts of those countries and produce from the own raw materials that are available, thus giving the people access to the economy. You see, it is when you start to build citizens' wealth. Liberia's greatest problem have always been creating an honest middle class. That has been our problem because the industrialization of activities in our country has been undermined by the lack of adequate electricity across the country. It is this administration that has started a massive decentralization of electricity across the country. So with this news that is coming, it is also a good news for us Liberians because our government will also be able to invest more money into the electricity sector. And if she do that, at the end of the day, guess what? Industries will not spend money on running generators. Okay, even the rural energy integration across the countries becomes very necessary, and you find companies go. So if you are living in Grand Baza or Royal County, and when the roads, because the president, the public works minister was here yesterday, she talked about that road as well. So with this new development, while the roads are being done, and we have a decentralized electricity process in our country. So you don't have to come from Riverside to come to Monterey County for work. Companies will be the example that Lamco, you had Lamco before. Those are things that are happening. So this government has performed massively well that they must be appreciated. And Liberians should also celebrate this result because it is going to provide the kind of opportunities that we need. The president said that during the time he told his people when we had that program at the party headquarters.
That is what I'm looking at right now.
You see?
You see? The president said, as if he already knew that
he was going to get here today.
We're going to be where we are today, that this United States government Millennium Challenge Corporation would have been a success for Liberia, because he said we will continue to grow our economy in order to provide more jobs for Liberians, including creating jobs in the small and medium enterprise sectors and in key sectors like agriculture and manufacturing. He didn't stop there. He said we will expand the capacity of the Liberia Electricity Corporation to reach more homes while enhancing industrialization,
like I said,
and the creation of jobs. For that to happen, Liberia has an opportunity already now. Our opportunity has been enhanced. It strengthens, our opportunity now to apply for this a compact.
Yeah, the compact.
And so, because we passed before, under President Weah, but we did not meet the threshold.
No, we didn't.
So, like you said, there are several indicators that you must,
Meet up with.
do well with,
Yes.
like, fiscal policy, corruption, employment opportunities, the
Women
rule of
participation.
law.
Rule of law.
You
and
must
all of
be
that.
able to make sure that you pass those certain compacts before you can be eligible.
Yes.
That has happened. It is a plus for the government because now the government has an opportunity now to apply. She's eligible, to apply for a new, compact.
Okay.
That is something under, the Ellen-led government. They wanted to have another opportunity to apply, but because they could not pass, they couldn't meet the score marks. So it couldn't happen.
No, it couldn't.
Under this government, under 6 years, the government passed twice. The first time the government did not meet
the specific
indicators. But this time around, government has, met those indicators, and now she is eligible. She can apply, which is a very big news, like I continue to say, because if you can apply now, like you've said, then it helps us. What the president says that, his government is going to, if he's given a second term in office, he's going to make sure that, the jobs, small and medium enterprises, that sector will be enhanced, not education, sorry, but electricity. Who doesn't want light? Everybody wants
It's
light.
important.
And today, if your area is off, you go straight on Facebook and say, Johnsonville is off. Who else is off? Then you hear people saying,
Bannersville.
GA0. Battersville, because we are accustomed to that now. Before, nobody knew, nobody cared because we were accustomed to not having electricity.
Darkness.
So we didn't care about that. The finance minister said President Weah is the Facebook, president, and he said it because of so many reasons. During the 12 years of the former Unity Party, government. We were not what we're seeing today. We call citizen journalism, where anybody can take their telephone and just go
Just do all
live
kind of stuff.
and just show you what is happening just right around them. That was not happening.
It was very.
Everything, you could hide anything you wanted to hide. If you were a journalist and you went out and something bad happened and the government wanted to make sure that that thing is not brought to the public, they'll make sure that they will get it from you. Whatever way they can get it, they will get it from you. We are here today. Today is November 7th, right? Seditions are out there memorializing those people who died.
Peacefully.
They are memorializing them. Do you know what happened on November 7th here in Liberia when President Weah nearly lost his life? When,
I was there.
Okay.
There were tear gas. In fact, that was the first time I ever used Potential Green.
If it was the era we're in now, we'll be showing those, pictorials today. Because I know
videos.
that, the only station that had, the video of that was Power FM and Power TV. And Power TV was, the night they were showing that, the police barricaded the whole place. They barricaded the whole place because they didn't want them to show that. They show it earlier in the day and know that Power News would come up, at night. And so at night, while they were reading the news, the whole place was barricaded. And they started breaking in. That is under the Unity Party-led government. And I remember that because, Estelle was reading the news and then she said that our place, we are under attack. People are breaking in. They want to get in. And then Solomon George led a group of partisans, from West Point, and they went to Power. That's how the police left from there because the crowd, they could not, they could not withstand the crowd and they left. But if that kind of thing cannot happen now.
No, it can't.
It can't happen now. And if it were to happen, under this government, it will be all over the news and everybody will be there. People will be there going live, but we never had Facebook Live at the time. So it tells you that President, where everything that this government does is all over. Everybody is showing what happens in their office. People go live and this and that. 12 years ago, under the 12 years leadership
It was impossible.
of Ambassador Barker and former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. That was impossible. So a lot of dirty things happened that people cannot lay hand on because they were able to hide those things.
Social media was at its best.
Yes.
And about that time.
There was no Facebook Live.
Exactly.
So,
Let me tell you. Let me give you a sparkling, a reminder. So I remember it was 2015. We were here, and Madam Sirleaf, the State of the Nation address was coming up in a week time. For the first time, it was also myself and Michael. Michael is still here. We said, let's see if we can carry this live. There was no Facebook Live. So we sat long time, but we realized people were using Skype to do video call. So we said, what if we use Skype? We put a camera at the National Legislature, and then another camera here for the laptop and feed. So we tested RTT. Guess what? And it went. The live worked. But the Skype with the Madam Sirleaf came down after the program. The late Mona, may also rest in peace. And she looked up. She said, "Oh, that me, yes, so." They said, "Yeah, Madam President." Said, "Oh, the international people came to cover everything." They said, "No, that LBS." I said, well, how did they do this thing? A year after that, going towards 2017, Facebook Live started. So you see, this progress we've made as a government. If you look at the componential makeup of the last administration, let's do a dissection of the two governments in terms of the fiscal opportunities that both of them had. So Honor Amara Konen, who babbles a lot, who posted a lot, under his administration, you had the international organization that were 80% down. That means 80% are gone. Only 20% here. You had them hugely pumping into the economy. You had oil here. You had the domestic revenue that was being generated. You had the donors pumping in huge sum of money. Then you also had international companies and businesses here. But guess what? With all of those or stakeholders in our national economy, they were unable to pass. But can you see? Under Tour's administration as finance minister, 80% of the international organizations left. Liberia was down with 20%. Domestic revenue was all we had to depend on. Money in, money, cash in, cash out. Donor participation in our national economy is not as huge as the last administration. International organizations, no, not as many. International companies and partners, okay, fine, we still have a few of them around, and some are even coming. Investment climate has improved. But guess what? Because of the vacuum that was created in terms of being able to monetize areas that needed, developmental, attention, the Minister of Finance and his team decided to craft a policy called public financial management. The PFM is more like a financial law in Liberia today. It is that law that has enabled the Ministry of Finance to dutifully and sophisticatedly manage, monitor, and improve the things that are affecting our economy today. So, because of that fiscal balance and the adherence to international fiscal best practices by this administration, we were able to pass. While they were leveraging in the billions, the few that we were able to gather to invest in infrastructure, roads, hospitals, 4 hospitals in 6 years under this administration, is just like a dream. Okay, education, improving quality, access to education, compulsory free public universities for all Liberians, all of that. But we're still able to pass that component, while also we're still able to identify and improve and increase on access to employment across the country. If this does not strike a serious concern to those critics that are saying that we shouldn't be celebrating today, then nothing is going to make sense to them anymore, because this is a big news.
It's a big boost.
Because let me tell you, from an international perspective, I think our international partners are very satisfied with this administration. Because I remember when the harmonization thing started, it was also as a result of the International Monetary Fund's suggestion that under Liberia's current wage bill, if there cannot be a restructuring that will balance it in a way that they can support, they wouldn't.
That should have happened under
They
the
refused.
Unity Party
But how will it happen today?
government, but they refused to do that. They knew they would go out of power.
No one will. Thank you.
They knew they would leave power. They wanted to just leave that burden on the
And they said it.
government.
And they said it.
That was their plan. And
Let's see you surviving. Let's see you surviving
because they
in 3
knew
years.
what they have done, and they knew what they couldn't do, that they should have done to better the economy. But they refused to do that because there was an incoming government, and they believed that this government would not have been able to, help itself through that. When you do something bad, right? And you know that there's no way we can cross this river. But we don't necessarily have to cross the river. We can still do what we have to do. Anybody coming after us is going to take this bag of rice across the river, whether they like it or not.
Let's build a canoe.
Yeah, whether they like it or not, they will be left with that responsibility. But we can leave the bag of rice right here. That's okay because our time is up. So we're not forced to make sure that we put it across the river.
Exactly.
But this river is very huge. The person whose responsibility it is, because he's the town chief and the citizens in the town have to eat. Since he's taking over from us, he's going to make sure that this rice gets across the river. How he does that is none of our business because we've given him, the mantle of authority.
Yeah, to take
that is what the Unity Party-led government did to the CDC government.
Yes.
That is why they said, we will see how, this government, the CDC government is going to even pay, people's salary for even the first 3 months.
Because they know what they did.
About that.
Because they knew there was a vacuum already
That
created.
they had created. And
Like a death trap.
Of course. It's sad, but again, thank God today that, the CDC-led government was able to get through all of those challenges. Now is the time for them to reap, with the government to reap what she, has sown. And all you see is people who didn't do anything and want to come and reap where they didn't sow.
Exactly.
Because you had an opportunity with all of the international support. You didn't do well.
And big titles.
And you didn't have anything. That is why the Unity Party-led government got nothing to really campaign with. Because if you made significant progress, if you did well, extremely well, you would not be telling us about Kush today. And that is the reason why you want to remove President Weah from power.
A Samuel Tour who went to Omaha, went to UL, struggle in his entire life. Hustle Orion is the one who is making the impact that the sons and daughters of bourgeoisies
then you have
could not do.
Yeah, then you have Amara Kone going. But Amara Kone, the relationship between Amara Kone and Robert Sirleaf. It is on the wings of Robert Sirleaf that Amara Kone sailed to wherever, he sailed during the Ellen-led government. It's no secret. There are things that Augustine Pehe Gafuan would not do, refused to do, but Amara Kone was willing to do that. That is why he succeeded Augustine Gafuan. It's no secret to anybody.
And he was a question towards ability to drive the financial system in our country.
He's only doing it to gain popularity. Think about it. You would not, if the Unity Party-led government had anybody whatsoever, any strong person, any young, energetic person after Joseph Yuman Bwaka, you will not have one Amara Kone, endorsing Ambassador Bwaka, given the fact that former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and Amara Kone and Robert Sirleaf had it like this. Amara Kone, as senator-elect, is looking for that clout Look behind former Vice President Joseph Yuma Boakai. After former Vice President Joseph Yuma Boakai, who do you see in the Unity Party? So Amara Kone is going there now to be that boss.
He's politically ambitious.
Yeah, because there is nobody
He's
there.
crawling behind.
That is the only reason why he's endorsing.
He sincerely don't like Boakai.
No, he doesn't.
No.
Because he supports the former president. But he wants to have that clout to be that person who stands out when you're talking about the Unity Party. That person who is going to say, yes, I want to be the next president, or I want to be the next vice president. It's Amara Kone you'll be looking at. Look at the Unity Party.
I know.
Who do you see there?
I know.
That is the only reason why. Yeah, that is the only reason why you see, Senator-elect Amara Kone going to pledge support.
Amara sees
I'm
his
going
way.
to read what Amara Kone wrote. Against former Vice President Joseph Yuma Boakai.
I know. I read that.
Then you will sit down and ask yourself,
Blue,
Titi,
ghost?
how I recognize him.
the guy who blew,
This is a man who was birthed.
mistakenly birthed.
Akane. This is a man who was birthed out of misidentity by a political process that shouldn't have favored a newcomer. A man who did not win campaign, a man with no genesis politically in our country, but a man who has got resemblance of the president, who the ballot paper blessed and made him look like president we are, receive that number of votes, almost 50,000 plus, comes back to the Coalition for Democratic Change requesting some money for endorsement. President refused to give him money. The party said, we can't give you money, you go endorse an empty ticket. Like we come and give dignity to you. That man was birthed out of a complete misidentity. Complete. And let me tell you something. Nobody gonna follow the other man.
I was asking someone. I said, let's be honest to the conversation. Show me 500 committed Appeton supporters.
Daniel knows Thomas can can garner more votes than Appleton. If the president of Liberia was dependent between me and Appleton, I would win Appleton. But I'm telling you this.
But here is it, Daniel.
I'm telling you. I'm serious.
The thing is simple. Here is it.
Okay, Appleton winning.
The thing is simple.
You let's try. Let go run. Let go to
look across the country. That is the reason why we talk about the civic, the voter civic awareness.
You were also the president kind of a game money.
Appleton.
Father, I'm going to give you.
Appleton on the.
But I'm free going that mango. Brother said I'm going to get it. Brother going to get money.
How many persons can Appleton convince to support the unity party? How many?
Forget about convention. You get people say.
But you will get the people for people start convincing.
You can't convince nobody.
He doesn't have the political strength to do that.
You know.
So you can glorify such an endorsement. It's a mistaken endorsement.
Today, logicians. You know, if you read logic, it's a kind of very, very, very intelligent course. Somehow difficult because critical reasoning it comes into place. Logician will tell you in all attributes that this man was completely birthed out of misidentity. First of all, let's look at the different political entries of individuals. I won't go back small. Kennedy Senny, you remember Kennedy Senny? Okay. Kennedy Senny spent way more money than this Appleton who borrowed the president's visage.
You saw Appleton company.
Who pretended to be like the president of the ballot. And we had to remember because we were doing well. We kept doing our finger, you know. One. So our old people say, but that. So I was so that I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And then he wants to peddle himself as a champion.
Did he? I don't think he has done that. I think it's the Unity Party that has done
that.
His action.
No, I saw his
action has predicated that.
He wrote a communication informing the country of his decision before time. Okay, and it was
the man's decision.
It was called I'm coming on, Titi. Look, let me tell you something. You see, let's look at Tiawan Conglo. If Tiawan can get a number of votes, that Appleton go.
I was hearing something.
And Tiawan's endorsement.
Tiawan wants to withdraw his.
that man been told with sleeping for a long time. I mean, I'm begging.
They said Tiawan has withdrawn his endorsement too.
But let me tell you something. It was
That's the unconfirmed report.
Congo is a very, very, very tactical and smart.
There first.
No, you see, we said it last time today.
But Congo is one.
You see, the party, it's not his party. And the majority of the partisans or the officials of that party come from Lufa. So the decision was not his decision. But because he's not a resigned standard bearer of the party, did you hear Congo say anything on that day?
I saw Gonglo sitting there.
But did he say anything?
But when you sit somewhere, you don't.
But I can just sit down so that politics. I can just sit down so I'm sitting down sick. Does it mean that? So is he campaigning for Unity Party now? No, he's not campaigning.
I don't know unless he comes.
No, he's not campaigning. I haven't seen anything. I know if Congo campaigning, will be sweeping the broom. I mean that broom will be all over the place now.
He's not campaigning.
Then the man, you can't see the broom again. So they say
the man put the broom down.
The president is going to win these elections because the good thing I've always said. The president has been having some very meaty endorsements. You know, when something is meaty, it possesses a lot of substance that one can utilize. These endorsements the president is receiving, they're meaty endorsements because the people that are coming to the president, they already know who George Weah is and what he has done. There's no guess or if and air about George Weah. They were only testing the political process to see as to how far they will go. So they know Vice President Bouaga they've seen the political thought loss that encircle Bouaga on a daily basis. They see the desperation in these very people. They know their intents and what they want. So they're not going to carry themselves to these people. So the party has been receiving better endorsements that is magnitudinal. You understand? So the kind of results we want to harness. All right? You don't blame me. I forgot, man.
Hey, yeah, Daniel.
You don't blame me, please. I forgot.
Hey, Daniel, man.
I will have to.
Hey, Daniel, man.
Let's utilize what we have. You know, That's why Minister Tour said we gotta weaponize our people with the information.
Okay, no problem. Weaponize us.
You can't be a miser with words. You gotta use it because people gotta understand across the other aisle. So what I'm saying here, Titi, is I'm happy for the kind of crucial endorsements that the president has been receiving, and these endorsements were met wholeheartedly by the people who support their political leaders that are coming. Unlike a brother who is a ghost that appeared, and in fact, the people who voted him said, "You don't see them again.
They've disappeared."
Of course, let me tell you something. Look, we gotta be very politically prone and practical in the kind of things we do. Politicians like we are today has the diversification of politics today has been even more exposed by the inception of social media.
Mm-hmm.
People can now go Google the camera and know the rules and stuff you play.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A Moneyback campaign, Moneyback. What's his name? Clarence Moneyback campaign. More invested more into his campaign initiatives as compared to Brother Appeton.
But did you see Appeton in Montserrat?
Cummings started today. Cummings started a year. Let me tell you, Cummings had 1 year fresh start. He started way ahead. Because I remember there was a time I went to speak at the PUL's, I think, 52nd anniversary in Saniquili, your PUL people. And while I was there, we had just done the program and we went to Jackie's to eat. It was way before the campaigns. And Cummings went to that part of the country. And we're in Jackie's and he came and introduced himself to other people that were there. So he was already campaigning at that point in time. Mm-hmm. But imagine that man could not get that number of votes that Appeton got. It tells you that Appeton was birthed out of a complete misidentity that has given him the kind of appetite that Paul running behind him. Thank God he won a unity party. Because tomorrow we are winning election. We want anybody tell us say Appeton will say that I don't want me the president win election. The president winning because the president got the people behind him.
Appeton is not a political substance. And you know, you see, I see people
because the both parties know.
No mentality. But let's be honest. Let's be real. Like you said, Appeton is not a political substance. Why will you even glorify?
Our guest here?
So I'm just waiting for you guys to learn. He's not coming.
So, okay. Mm-hmm. So do we have any other thing on the docket we want us to talk about?
We can talk about what's happening at the CDC headquarters, but we got to finish with what you guys if you're done with Appeton, then we can.
I'm not going to dignify Appeton's conversation further. I think I'm done. I'm just saying that.
But the folks are making the how you call it, the endorsement as if, you know, all of the ghost votes that were accumulated by Appeton in the first round are strictly going to the Unity Party.
A drowning man will even hold leaf.
That's the belief. That's the belief. That's the message and the perception they are carrying around. You even bring Appeton to his own community or the district in which he resides. He can't even beat the man who came fifth place in the.
We'll just say thank you to Appeton for doing us a favor, for going the way of the Unity Party, because we want them to also have population too, the way they say, because they are the ones who cries the most. Thank God the endorsements the president has been receiving will demystify the arguments of rigging elections, because that's the biggest thing. They won't campaign, they will not invest money in campaign activities, they will sit on the fence and cry for rigging business. We thank God that the people that are coming out to endorse the president are some of the own people who supported them yesterday. Mm. When the president wins come November 14, nobody will come up here to say to Liberian people that these elections have been rigged. So let them get all the endorsements they can get. We will take the meat from the snow and let them get the shell. So I think we can conclude on that Appeton's endorsement with that.
Okay, I've heard you guys as it relates to Appeton. I just wanted to, since our guest is not coming.
Did he say why?
I don't think you want to hear why.
Yeah. Okay, it's okay.
On the radio. So,
no, it's okay. Sorry.
Okay, so I wanted to tell the Liberian people, we always I know during the elections and after elections, all of the parties were like, okay, we won this county, Unity Party won this county, CDC won this county, and blah, 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 right? Mm-hmm. So all of the 15 counties I just wanted to, we have the results here. We want to see, like you, because of what you just said, people talk about rigging elections.
Yep.
And they cry about that, and
Correct.
they say, oh, because we won Maserati County, so we are poised to win these elections. And when you look at the results of the elections, it's not like you're winning another party with so many
Yes,
votes.
exactly.
Yeah.
The only counties where the Unity Party won the CDC with many votes,
Nimba and
Lofa and Nimba.
Correct.
But when you look at the other counties,
Slim.
the margins,
1,000 votes,
Yeah, the
100, 200,
margins
500,
are-
700.
the margins are very, very slim. So I like to call the margins here for our people to
Okay.
know, so that because you're looking at the endorsements right now, you have 854,000 votes that didn't go to CDC nor the Unity Party. 854,000 votes,
a huge
including the
Representative and
no,
all the other
including
parties.
the
Invalid?
invalid votes.
Okay, correct.
So the 854,000 votes. None of these votes went to Unity Party nor the CDC. So these are the people who either voted for Apeton or ACOP
Gonglo.
or Gonglo.
The other,
or
the
all
other
of
18, the other 18 political
yeah,
parties.
political parties. So these are the votes that are up for grabs. And another thing is, with all of these endorsements we're seeing, and the reason why I like to point this out, because the only party that has endorsed the Unity Party without any wahala, and when I say wahala, I mean with nobody,
contestation.
any contestation,
Correct.
that's the right word,
Yeah.
is this Apeton.
Yeah.
But when you look at the ACOP,
There was
ACOP
huge contestation.
divided.
Correct. Even till now.
And even to go further, since Lucini Kamara endorsed former Vice President Joseph Yumon Bwaka, and his
There's a
running
split.
mate endorsed President Weah, we see that the Muslim community, different factions of the Muslim community, continues to endorse His
president.
Excellency.
Correct.
That tells you, it speaks volume, because endorsements are good, but it tells you also that it's not because I voted for you, Daniel, and you say, please go my way, I'm going to support Washington, that I'm going to support Washington. It's most likely that some people will follow you, but others will say, no, I'm not going to do that.
No.
I supported you, Daniel, because I believed in you.
Because of you.
But now that you're not on the ballot, I will make my own decision.
Exactly.
Some people will say, no, I will follow Daniel because he's my man. So that is it with these endorsements. But you see that the president continues to get endorsements from the Muslim community, the Islamic community. A lot of them keep, pledging their support. So this whole thing about ACOP endorsement of Unity Party, you already know that there is a split. When it comes to Tiawan Gonglo, you already know that the person who marketed Councillor Gonglo is Edith Gongwe, his sister. She campaigned for him.
A structured the entire.
This is not a person who politically we will see doing what he did during the elections.
Yeah.
We know him. He's the poor man lawyer. If you have a problem and you don't have a lawyer, you will go to Councillor Gonglo. But when it comes to political contestation, no. So this was his first time, stepping into the race, and he says it's his last time anyway. I believe him because he's a man of his words. So it's a done deal for Tiawan Gonglo. His sister, who is politically strong in Nimba County, campaigned for him. He got 40,000 plus of the votes. But here is it. His sister has said that, no, I campaigned for you. You didn't win the elections, but now I am shifting towards His Excellency.
I don't have a belief.
There is a contest
in
there, even though his party supports the Unity Party, but the brain behind those votes has left him. So there is a problem there already. So it's only ACOP. Now, looking at these, with all of the 854,000 votes that are up for grabs, and all of these people who, with all of these endorsements and people living here and going there, we see Bowman County. Bowman County has 63,112 registered voters. Of those voters, we've got 30,654 female. Male, 32,424. CDC got 18,239 votes from
Bowman County.
From Bowman County. And the Unity Party got 25,377 votes.
Do the mathematical
The variance is,
I think the difference there, right? Okay.
7,138.
Now you see that. Now you're up to 10,000.
Bone County. Bone County, the voters, there are 234,787. Female, 120,155. The male, 114,632.
Wow, more women.
Yeah. The CDC got 77,184 votes from Bone County.
Correct.
The Unity Party got 67,383. The variance is 9,000.
So that plus 2 now.
What is plus 2?
No, I'm just saying. So the 7,000 from Bowman. I do my math.
Okay.
Yeah. So you take the 7 from that plus. So CDC now at plus 2.
Okay. So Bapolu County. Bapolu County got 50,615 registered voters. Female voters 22,266. Male voters 28,349. The CDC got 15,247 out of those votes. The Unity Party got 16,703. The variance is 1,456.
So you see,
Very little.
very little.
Grand Bassa County. Bassa got 138,463 registered voters. The female voters are 79,241. Male voters are 79,222.
You're talking about Rescue Mother County?
Yeah, rescue.
Grand Bassa, right?
So-called rescue.
So-called Rescue Mother County, right?
Okay. The CDC got 46,651 votes from Grand Bassa County. The Unity Party got 36,214 votes. The variance is 10,000.
Again.
10,437. 55,598 persons did not vote for CDC nor the Unity Party. And I think I didn't do that for the other
Yeah, sure.
For Bowman County, 19,496 persons
Didn't
did
vote for
not
other
vote
parties.
for either of the parties.
Okay.
In Bowman County, 90,220.
Wow.
Look at that. Look at that.
90,200.
A huge number.
Yeah, 220
Wow.
persons did not vote for either of these candidates. In Bapolu County,
And we got we got the difference of what?
we got the difference of the variance you're talking about,
that's
right?
the variance,
The
of course.
variance is 9,000.
Cool.
Okay, so you got 90,000 registered voters who did not
I
think
hope
about
there's somebody
CDC,
listening because
not think about CDC nor
Unity
a
Party.
Unity Party. And you just keep listening. You in your community, you know who's running campaign and who's not running campaign. Okay, so Grand Bassa, the variance is 55,598 of the voters who did not care about CDC nor Unity Party.
wow.
Yeah. So Grand Cape Mount County, we've got 86,529 registered voters. 40,476 are females, and 46,053 are male voters. CDC got 25,454 votes from Grand Cape Mount, while Unity Party got 25,700. The variance of 246.
246.
Yes.
Wow.
35,300.
246.
246.
Wow.
35,375 of those voters did not think about CDC nor Unity Party. They were on their different parties. So those people are up for grabs right now. We come to Grand Jide County, got 63,942 registered voters. Female, 30,369, male 33,673. Of those registered voters, the CDC got 34,751. Unity Party got 4,689.
A huge margin.
The variance is 30,062. But of that number, 24,502 of those people did not vote for either CDC.
You see what the variance there?
The variance is 30,062.
30,000.
But you still got 24,000 of them out there who did not vote for CDC nor the Unity Party.
I know. And so this time around, they will get off the fence.
Yes. So they have to vote now. Okay.
Wow.
So Grand Crew County got 42,396 registered voters. Of those voters, 20,052 are females, 22,344 are males. So CDC got 24,477. Unity Party got 2,587. The variance is 21,890.
Wow.
15,332 voters that did not vote for either CDC or
Unity Party.
Unity Party. Lofa County. Lofa got 177,129 registered voters. Of those people, 91,828 are females, 85,301 are males. CDC got 35,951, while Unity Party got 73,761. The variance is 37,810. But 67,417
Didn't go either way.
Didn't go either way.
Yes. Margibi County. Margibi got 185,301 voters registered. 93,678 female voters, female registered voters, 91,623 male registered voters. Of that number, CDC got 58,272. Unity Party got 63,431. The variance is 5,159. Those who did not vote for either of the parties, 63,598.
A lot of people didn't really.
But that includes other parties.
Okay.
They voted.
So also that number includes invalid.
Yeah, it includes the invalid.
Yeah,
we don't know which county most of the invalid
Exactly,
votes come from.
exactly.
If you remember, call the county.
No.
I'm just deciding in my mind which county.
Okay.
So Maryland County got 67,600 registered voters. 34,056 of them are females, while 33,544 are males.
Why you're female? You're being
More women voters, right?
You're being more than us now. Isn't that a problem?
Yes. Maryland County, 35,784 persons voted for the CDC, while 5,505 voted for the Unity Party. The variance is 30,279.
Also that Lofa County vote.
26,311 registered voters did not vote for any of these parties. We come to Montserrat County. Montserrat got 901,162 registered voters. 457,049 are females, while 444,113 male voters, registered voters. 319,366 of those registered voters voted for the CDC, while 322,166 voted for the Unity Party. The variance is 2,800. While 259,630
didn't go other way.
Didn't go other way.
their way.
Wow.
Nima County got 307,254 registered voters. 155,337 are females, while 151,917 are male voters. 50,427 of them voted for the CDC, while 138,070 voted for the Unity Party. The variance is 87,643. Of that number, 118,757 did not go either of the parties' way.
We can start saying what the invalid votes are coming from.
River G County got 300.
Take your time.
River G got 37,807 registered voters, and 18,056 are female voters, while 19,000. It's in River G that the men tap to women. 19,751.
The boy is strong water.
So of that number in River G, 19,247 of them voted for the CDC, while 4,424 of them voted for the Unity Party. The variance is 14,823. 19,884 decided to go to other parties. River says 39,941 registered voters. 19,248 of them are females, while 20,000. Your topic in River says 20,693. Amen. So of these, of this number, 15,398 of them voted for the CDC, while 6,503 of them voted for the Unity Party. The variance is 8,895. 18,040 of them did not go either of the parties' way. Finally, Sino County. Sino got 55,579 registered voters, 24,862 females became Sino, 30,717 males, 29,639 registered voters voted for CDC, while 4,468 of them voted for the Unity Party. The variance is 25,171. Of that number, 21,000, my Sino people, 21,472 of them went, other parties' way. So the CDC got 151,358 votes, while the Unity Party got 142,252 votes.
Read that again? Where? The total, right?
Yeah, the total.
Yeah, please read that again.
151,000.
No.
What?
100?
Which total?
I said 100, you see what?
Okay.
So 854,279. Where are these people going?
So also, there are certain factors.
Nearly a million people.
There are certain factors that interplayed during these elections in terms of the votes. So I want to start with removing the other parties and just focus on the 114,000 invalid votes. That's where our concentration has got to be too, because
Civic voter education,
exactly,
right?
Exactly, and it's going to be quite easier now
That you have
because you have only two contenders on a ticket, and the kind of message we're going to be. So, like yesterday, somebody made an analogy, and I want to also look at. They said, look at the ticket. When you look at candidate A, it's a male and male, right? Candidate B, that male and female, right? She said, but guess what? She said, if you tell the countryman or the countrywoman, our people can read, right? Say, look for the ticket, they sound like a male woman. It depends from what side she's looking. She's looking for up, cool, and draw down. She marks as well. So she was saying that the best way to do it, which of course we can talk that on radio like that. But she was saying it could be a problem. So that was another way to provide civic education. People looking at it from different perspectives, because she was an election monitor a year or so, some other elections, the last election before now. And the same thing happened. Okay? People were marking where they see the man and woman, and they just put on the side, they just did the line of it.
So it could be invalid because they don't even know how to mark. So the mark also.
So that could have also been some of the possibilities.
You're right.
Okay, so there's got to be a more robust civics education.
Exactly, Daniel.
And we've been doing well in that area as a party. We've been doing well. We've really been moving around the different communities across the country with our, this civic education and informing our people on what to look for. But I believe with the level of work that's been done, the number of invalid votes will reduce.
Exactly.
Now, let me bring the other political parties onto the platform, and let's dissect them in terms of what we want to consider. Coming from the Coalition for Democratic Change and listening to the numbers that you've announced here, we need to do a lot of work in Nimba and Lofa County. That's where our battle areas seriously are. You know why?
Right.
Take, for example, Lofa. If we can reduce that 74,000 to even 50, what are the variance there for Lofa?
Lofa County, the variance is 37,000.
Okay, so which is not as bad as compared to Nima, because one or two of the southeastern counties have already offset that variance. So the battle active counties will be Lofa and Nimba. But whereas also in areas that we have our strongholds, we just need to encourage our people to come all out more to go and vote. And also, like I said, reduce the number of invalid votes, because for the first time this year, these elections, we're having 114,000. It's a lot. It tells you that people, there are different election laws in terms of how. There's one that says how invalid vote is determined how the pool who's the person sees the marking, all of that. But I guess that these invalids were so worse to extent that there was no way. So the civic education is one thing that has helped, and I believe the reduction of the number of candidates to just 2 now is also significant. So for the other political parties, the endorsements that are being made, you said something that you struck, it was very important. A political candidate can say, let's go this way. The people will choose to go that way or choose not to go that way. That's democracy. It is the individual understanding of the candidate that is out for voting. That's how they're going to go. For me, fortunately, President Weah has already been showcased as the first advantage the president has got is that he's currently the most popular political candidate in this country, the most popular politician in this country, as was shown by the just ended general elections. Okay, so that is an added advantage. Other political parties whose members will be looking at as to where to go, I know there are several things they will look at. They will say, first of all, how does this party reflect me? They look at individuals, the people around the party. Number 2, what are some of the things the party has been doing that I can say when I give my vote to this party, it's going to make sense? Number 3, who is the political leader of this party, and how has he or she cut across the country? Again, President Weah is going to be having more inroad. But all we can say is that we still need to do a lot of work, and that is what we're doing.
So the ego can lean in.
Forget it.
No dependable uncle.
Talking. That my first time here. Look, you know, people can say poke and rap. Well, we have some people that also be rapping on ER food. The most dependable nephew.
Yeah.
So what about Jacob calling now?
Oh, please, that guy.
Jacob Macaulay is somebody who
Can make anybody money.
extract. Yeah, he extracts. But
The pocket.
their nephew, he can hustle for it and get.
So why he didn't make that nephew the most dependent nephew, the minister of state? But the other
by that time, the
other non-dependable nephew
was out of the equation anyway. At that time, it was out of the equation. But again, these numbers are huge numbers.
Huge.
Going to these
800 plus thousand.
I know for a fact because I voted, and let's call a spade a spade. The ballot papers, they were not as clear. And I believe that is something that also led to these invalid votes. Because if you're looking for your candidate, and I don't know how the National Elections Commission is going to do this, and whether, they can change that.
I think it's going to be clearer. I think it's going to be clearer.
No, now it's going to be clearer. First you had, 19, 20 persons on the ballot. They were smaller, Now everybody has a good eye. And after you have struggled through the lines and you got in there, you don't know what to do. You hear the other thing we say on the show here, the guy from River G County, he said, my people here need to kind of help me inside here because I even said no. I know who to vote for. They say, get outside, go find somebody to help you. You went outside, he didn't find anybody. He say, okay, I come in. I will not make nobody feel bad. I will just correct everything. It's funny, but it's serious because he wasted his time. In my mind, it was just a waste of time.
Oh, the guy who
in River G, the guy stood on the line for all of those hours, but because he didn't know exactly what he was going to do, but he wanted to be a part of the process. So he wanted, he was just a part of the process, a participant whose vote was invalid. We know now that there are only 2 candidates on the ballot,
which makes it easier for both sides.
But you raised a very salient point when you say it depends on how you're looking at it to market, because you see Jeremiah Cohn and then you see
just down.
Just down.
It's the same man woman.
So that man and woman right there. And then when you look, is it horizontal?
So it's horizontal and vertical.
It's both.
So if you look vertically,
you see
President Weah and Vice President Joel Howard Taylor. If you look horizontally, you will see Jeremiah Cohn and Vice President
Joel Howard Taylor.
But obviously, man, please, the person is going to look for where if you're a sedition, you will look for where the woman is.
Yeah, but guess what? No, but you see, so the logic is, the new logic is, so in this case, to better inform the people.
So the advertisement saying the box next to the woman.
Exactly.
What you gonna
That's
do?
Because
the both horizontal and
that's the easiest way right there. That's easiest because some people be carried away about the man and woman from up to down. Just say play the woman, the backside, the backside of the woman, just mark it back.
Yeah, the box next to the woman. But again, when you go to vote,
you can't overlook all these things.
Yeah, of course. When you go to vote and they give you the paper and you went behind there, you mark whoever you want to mark. You come back, you have that paper in your hand, and then you are inked. Your thumb is inked. What if,
the ink for the
what if it spills
on the paper?
On the paper.
I think it should be marking valid.
But again,
and I think when I went to
usually people
always. If that happens, according to them, if that happens, you can request for them to change the paper. You can request for them to change the paper.
Yeah, you're not thinking about that. The fact of the matter is, I go vote. The only thing is, by the time you finish marking,
the ink is all the way up here, so it'll be difficult for except where some spill your hair. It's all the way up here. So I don't know how it's going to get on that paper. Yeah, because it's up here. And usually, no. In fact, you'll be done voting before they mark that in.
Yeah, but you still have your ballot paper in your hand. They will mark your hand before you go and put it in the box. So you will not put it in the box before you come in. Ink your hand. They'll ink your finger before you go to put it in the box. What if the person who's doing that use their thumb?
But one hand,
ink.
Yeah, so the thumb that they will ink. You know, You don't have to hold the
The
paper.
woman goes to the place.
Yes, she
So
do. Yes.
she uses her thumb, or the papi goes there, and he uses his thumb, and then he's done, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the ink is already there.
Mhm.
What if he goes back and get his left?
I think if it's not inside the paper.
What if you mistakenly, just play with it, and then that ink runs?
So let me say something.
There was a problem I encountered.
I think it's not
with
inside the paper.
That ink stuff.
Because NEC gave the different invalid guidelines, where she focused on. She started with the square, the marking within the square, avoiding the different lines that makes up the square. Okay, so I think, to me, depending on the content of ink on the paper, once it's not in the paper where the candidates are, once it's at the back of the paper, I don't think it's invalid. That's my thought. Except that is verified. But once it's not in the paper where the candidates are, once it's just at the back of it, maybe it's just a little ink, I don't think it's invalid, because that ink at the back just signifies nothing. Once it's with inside, who knows? But I think, for me, the most important thing is, and I'm happy that the number of candidates have reduced, and on both sides, I think there's been great civics education with regards to what is happening.
Yeah, I'm seeing it from both sides. You guys are very, very, very serious about the civic education, and
Who guys? The neck.
The parties.
I think both. I think like
the parties
to some extent it's also endorsed with civics education as well.
The next, but I can see the guys. They are very, very, very effective. Yes.
What are they doing? Are they showing people how?
Yeah, they carry the ballot papers around, and showing people, because.
Tanya. They're doing what? Carrying papers. Oh, okay. They show you.
Yes, they come across you. They show you.
What is it called? The ballot paper. They show it to you, and then they tell you what to do, right?
Exactly.
And how to mark the paper.
Exactly.
Okay. So let's try to open up the lines now, and unless you have something else you want to say.
I thought we were.
Oh, we didn't talk about
what is very
happening
good.
at the CDC headquarters.
So today, CDC is commemorating what happened some years ago, November 7. And I thought Daniel would start with that, and then I will chip in, then we conclude on that.
Not only November 7, they're memorializing, all of the fallen partisans, inclusive of those who even died during these electoral processes. There were several other partisans of the Coalition for Democratic Change, ranging from the one that happened to those two women who were going to Nimba County from Bone County to do some campaigning, and they had a terrible accident.
Yeah.
What happened in Nimba County,
The
what
one
happened in
Norfolk
Norfolk County.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the CDC is memorializing all of her fallen partisans, which is a very good thing. It tells you that these people who struggle with the party, these people who lay down their lives,
to see
the party at the to the level at which it is now. They are not forgotten. They are people who are still remembered whenever there are activities going on. The CDC remembers these people. They know the struggle they've gone through. And I think that sets the Coalition for Democratic Change apart from all other political parties.
But Titi, there's a uniqueness about the party. So I like to start first by saying, we extend our, heartfelt condolences to all of our fallen comrades, the families, from November 7 till today. There are two significant aspects of the Coalition for Democratic Change in terms of our berets. So today will basically mean a Red Beret Day. The Red Beret memorializes fallen comrades in the revolution. Comrades who led the revolution to today but didn't reach the end line. The blood that was shed for the revolution. So this memory goes back to November 7. We call that day, it was a white March day. We have all agreed as partisans on a directive of our standard bearer to come in white. It was a day that we were in complete disagreement over how the process went, but we wanted to exercise our democratic right to a peaceful march. I remember that morning, I was then with Drew Mason, and the National Democratic Coalition had already joined the CDC. And I remember Costa was with Winston Tubman. He was the standard bearer. So we woke up that morning, got Ambassador ready, and we drove into the yard. The colleagues were all assembled, and it was a peaceful event that turned out to be a bloody one, which till today I'm even still shocked. So we started a march before Lone Star office, just before Lone Star. Before we knew it, it was Mark Ambler. He then sent the riot police, who came. The guy who was a commander. His response to the protesters that were peacefully marching was harsh. So when the situation started, we decided to run back in the party headquarters. They chased us there. They entered there and were firing live bullets in the party headquarters where we were. Those of our colleagues who ran behind the fence by the beachway, some of them even met their end right there. Some of them were brutally wounded, all of that. The commander entered the party headquarters. I still remember, Ome had to come, even while Ome was present, as if this police commander who was in charge had a personal beef with this party. He took out his pistol and was still attempting to shoot in the crowd.
The man was on assignment.
Good. So, for the first time in my life, I used potato greens, wiping my eyes and trying to shave my nose, because they had to take Ambassador Weah, Winston Tubman, Drew Mason.
But how you just jumped in anything like that. The thing is, when President Weah got to the party headquarters, and then they opened the door for President Weah.
I know.
But you jump.
No.
Thing like
no,
that.
I know, because
use potato grains. The thing
no,
was.
I was giving you my experience.
His side
Oh.
On the ground, as in the people, those that were there. Even where that boy was shot right through his eye.
Mm-hmm.
I was just around the sycamore tree. So we who were on the ground,
terrible.
as full soldiers that were on the ground, the potato greens had to save us to some extent. While they try to get our political leaders through the back gate to leave. It was a difficult time, and every time November 7th comes, even while memorialized, it brings back
traumatized.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It brings back these traumatic memories to me.
Who were on the scene.
And to see our party today, the level of democratic tenor this person has exercised, the peace he's expressed, even before international community. Some of them were there. They know what happened on that day. If George Weah is still maintaining the peace in this country, as opposed to a former vice president who says if he doesn't win election, Liberia ends. I wonder if he had been a part of that November 7th. We have the means to say what he said that day. Sometimes people must be able to experience what you go through to understand why you're making certain decision. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it was a bloody day. And every time that day comes, it just I left my house. I usually wear my red beret to memorialize them in memory of our colleagues who died that day.
That boy left his house, to, celebrate with his party.
Whose eyes try to get up, boy? Straight up, whose eyes?
Into his head. But the guy who opened the door for President Weah to get out, he was shot.
He was shot in
his arm.
In the arm.
Yeah. And all of those guys
were shooting in the place.
But that was an assassination attempt on the life of President Weah. And people sit here today, and the Unity Party folks act like, it was all bread and butter during the Ellen administration. And I hear people talk about, it's just sad because some of the things that those people did to this country, and they sit here and pretend like nothing happened during their tenure in office. It only took God, because if they had killed, President Weah at the time, God forbid, I don't know where this country would have been. Because he was the one they were going for. They were all over the place.
Let me give
they
you
didn't
information.
shoot any bullet until President Weah was about to get out of the car. So the guy who was the security guy, they shot him in his arm. If that bullet had touched,
So it means the bullet
Today-
was, the bullet was close to
the one
President
for
Williams.
him was it went in the arm of the
the
security,
security guy. Yeah. But today, guess what?
What?
This is something that we hardly talk about. On that day, I still remember Apollo Jason. He was once a former rebel guy. There were some of our brave brothers in the compound who disarmed some of the ERU guys.
But and the guys were all over the car.
Let me tell you something. Guess what? You know what the president said? They disarmed those guys and they tied the guns. They took on the shirts and tied those guns. Some have 4-5 guns put in a tie. The president said nobody should fire one gun when the army comes to tell them what they turn all those guns over the army. If President Weah was a mayor of violence that day, Labro would have seen the difference.
Labro would have gone somewhere different.
He said nobody should fire one round. When the army came, they turned those guns over the army. They who pursue us in the yard, most of them they train this on them. So, as we memorialize today, it is also important to note that this president has stood up for peace long before today, and he should really be appreciated for it.
Yeah, the record.
November 7 was the icebreaker. Let me tell you, 2005
this country.
it was the icebreaker.
Yeah,
The children, the means was there. The masses had the means.
of course.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You got access to raffle that the magazine is full. Now you want
You know how to
you know how to
operate.
use it.
Yeah. We gone different places.
That even had the army commander was pissed with this police guy who was bent on shooting his pistol. The people disarming you and giving a gun to us, we got it. You still won't fire them.
The people were on mission. They had to accomplish their
Yeah.
mission.
It
was
Right?
sad,
It was
yeah.
God, you know.
It was
Terrible.
really God.
because they were going to really take us back to where they already carried us. But again, it's your time to lend your thoughts tonight. And let's be hopeful that our telephone is going to do us better today. I'm told to do something. So call the numbers and let me try to see. Let me do that and see whether it's going to.
Call your number
last.
too now.
No, not.
Oh, this one?
Let's use this
Yeah,
one
let's
and
use the
see.
man phone is
Yeah,
08005140996.
Good evening, CSTT.
Satilo,
Good evening to Daniel in Washington. This is the voice of Eric Taylor. Daniel Sedition and this. You getting me?
Yeah, go ahead, Satilo.
Thank you so much for the conversation tonight. President Weah is a symbolic reflection of peace. And because of this deed today, what he did to us in 2011, we are going to continue to ensure that we live. Let me just use the media to create a little awareness. So today, like I always told you, we have a team now. Going to see when we have two megaphones. Maybe we will need a help to continue to create awareness. But there are 3 ways to identify President Weah. One is where the CDC badge. If you go on out there, where the CDC badge, look for the CDC badge. Look for President Weah. You can put a man wearing shit.
We were just about to come to the party headquarters to come revenge. When we hear that the president said nobody should take a step on other or what to anybody. As it is dry or until the extent that where we are at when we saw our brother and Lena. Well, I didn't government. Let God be with. Will I be a president? If I be a president, he will get any little in la door I get a heart. La door will improve.
Thank you.
La door will improve.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello, Tidi.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening, and I want to say thank you for the conversation. My name is Lexington. I'm calling from Banga.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, and I want to say thank you so much for the conversation tonight. And I want to say there are so many things that this government and Jawea have done that I don't think you need to do more for us to know that this man is a man of peace. And some of the things that we've seen today, we could not see it in the past leadership or in our government. Now, we live in Banga. Can you imagine some of us go to the hospitals in Banga here, and even if you are a physician, you know that you don't get treated. Once the people know that you are not supporting the United Party, and those things never happen in the past government. You will never see, doing the regime where, you are physician, then they pay attention to you and they don't pay attention to their people in government. But this in government and like all of these things will happen. That shows to us that George Weah is a man of peace, and that thing that the world said know that this man is a man of peace. So I want to thank you for the conversation, and we know that George Weah will win this election. There is no doubt about it.
Okay,
it's clear, it's glaring. Thank you.
So before the show ends tonight, we'll talk a little bit about the hospital meeting in Banga today.
Okay, I just want to take this time. Anyway, I'm still waiting in a call from Maryland County Hospital to be precise.
Okay.
Alright, I want to tell you people thank you very much to the people there for your hard work, for educating our people. But I just want to make a little point to you people.
Okay.
We as citizens, you should know that the party is trying to get over. Because I can remember when the election was coming, when something was going on, Maryland was always fire was always on the mountain. But today the legislative election, for the full election, the decision is still wanted. Some of them lose, some of them become the winner. Today they vote Maryland to be quiet. I don't know what time to come and try to fill the place. People now in the background carrying that information around. How when the president win this election and making government will never send any support and nobody
Balut there? Balut.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, we hear you.
Okay. And then and people going to the Muslim mosque saying that when the president is win this election, the second round, the president win this election, the real government will marry men to men, women to women will marry.
That's also lies.
So lies. That Balut.
Want to come on the ground to be educated on people as the riding motorbike, the riding car, we also telling our people to go for the president so that we that on the car at least our own goal will reach for the level of education that the president is giving our children.
Okay.
For me, I got four children now that have graduated from high school where I was also $55 US for one of them for white.
Okay, sir, we have to leave you at that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You just have to tell your people who also, listen to you. That's the only thing Balut can peddle.
I listen to that trash.
That's the only thing he can peddle.
Complete trash.
He worked for 9 years. The people of Maryland County gave him an opportunity. He has nothing
if
to
he's
show
got intention of marrying man, he should make it clear. And stop
for his
lying on the
leadership.
administration.
Sorry, I have to take you off. If you want to be a part of the program, you have to lower the volume.
Yeah, you don't have to hear yourself.
If you have to be listening to yourself, then you will be hurting our ears.
Of course.
And we can't continue with you. I will have to take you off the line. Let's hear this caller. Good evening.
Thank you, CCP, Daniel Washington, and the rest of you guys in studio. I'm Emmanuel M. Tupachenio, and I join you this evening from the office of the Intellectual Class, District number 14. I want to appreciate you guys. You have made quite brilliant analysis, and I want to begin by, going straight for Honorable Budget Suffolk Collins. I listened to his endorsement statement. I don't think he needed to bore us with words, in order to endorse JNB, because we know him to be, he doesn't partisan. It's just like taking money from the right side of your pocket, place it to the back side of your pocket. So there's no new thing over there. But what we can say is that Senator Toy have done extremely well. This what we have passed 14 out of 20. I think we have done well in the compact. We must appreciate Senator Toy for the level of intelligence and the kind of economist is. I don't think I'm sure American during his time there are some that he feel in because he just spoke about
the may fail plenty.
Everything.
He fail plenty.
Anything. He didn't pass any.
With all the support they have.
And I listen to him criticizing how LeBron he know how to go to say, oh, LeBron passing.
Some of the very things we talk about LeBron failing, that's what you saying.
So you see, this is the kind of hypocrisy, but we want to encourage our people to go out and vote November 14. This is the main thing, and we don't want to know about that guy who was lucky. That you call Goldfield. He had a president resentment. People giving vote. I don't think he has a vote.
Okay.
He didn't come back.
Okay. What is coming by? Hello.
No, you'll be facing. Come back again.
Come by way. Oh, okay. Hello, sir. How did me right?
Good evening. Good evening, buddy. Good evening.
I'm Alfred Spencer. I call you from Baga.
Alfred Baga.
By the grace of God, Baga is fine. I really want to appreciate you people for this program. Africa here, President Weah is the number one terror president I ever seen.
Yes, very tolerant.
A certain president, you see somebody get abuse it, family people, this and that, and nothing can happen. He's very tolerant. Out there. Now, President Weah doesn't have political prisoner and whatsoever. This president, he's a God-fearing president. So, for President Weah, re-election is shown. And for what the guy was talking from Bon County here about the health system, the hospital, the health minister had to really do something. Something serious is happening to the CDC partisan in this place here. If you are not United Party partisan, you go to the hospital there. The CDC, no will. The health minister had to really do something.
It's become polarized politically.
What is her name? Mata, eh?
Mata Morris.
Mata Morris. She just need to go do politics. She's not a health.
No, I think she's doing it in the wrong area. But
hello. Yeah, how you doing?
Good.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. I don't want you to keep this call. We are here from from Bon County. We are here for President Weah and whatever they are pushing toward. We're not going to work with them. We are going to talk to our mothers. We are going to talk to our sisters. I'm going to focus on President Weah, and President Weah will be really like that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, brother.
We'll take 2 more calls and then we call it a quit. Hello.
Hello.
Yep.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
My name is James Turner. I'm calling from Rehab, Miami, to be precise. I want to say thank you so much, SCT, someone and the other guy in studio. You see, I had a conversation the other time, and then my woman asked me, but why they say that all of the things we are seeing now, we didn't see it in the last government. So I told her, I said, then we are living beyond technology. Now we are living in technology.
Yep.
That's why when they say something happen in local country today, you get to your phone, you can see it. Before then, anything that happen in local country, somebody call or come inside and tell you that's what happened. So the reason today you are seeing all of the crowds and things is because we are living in technology. So like when people should just understand one simple thing that make today, you see all the same president we are there, so all the what happening on the other side, it is because of the information today, technology. Today, one person can say Facebook Live and just say anything. Not happening before. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's see our final caller. Okay, final caller said retire. It going off. It tired me on the line. Yeah, it's gone off. Yeah, we're gonna leave it at that. There are two things here. The callers from Maryland County. You don't have to be discouraged. It's a disappointment to the people of Maryland County, and that's how I consider the former Senator John Balut. If you sit at the legislature and you know how laws are made, and the only way you think you can get, the people to come on your side because you're a flunky, they gave you an opportunity to serve them, you didn't do anything,
Messed up.
and you want to ride on another person's popularity, but you think the only way you can do it is to lie on a sitting president, then shame on you.
And
Because there's no law that the president does not,
Unilaterally
the
signed.
president does not unilaterally sign laws. It has to emanate from the legislature. Senator, what is his name? The other senator,
Bunny,
not Balut.
Bunny,
James Bunny.
Where is he? Is he not at the legislature?
and president still live man.
What kind of law are they? The unity
James Bunny can correct him,
James Bunny would not correct him because they're the same people peddling all of the lies. And that is the only thing they can use to get the common people to believe them and vote for their candidate. That's the saddest thing you can do to your people. Just lure them, lie to them because you want to be their leader. If you too, who have been leaders at the legislature, these people believed in you. They gave you their backing and say, go and represent us. You don't have anything to show for the 9 years you've spent at the legislature. And the only thing you can do is to lie to the people. And you think that's a good thing to do. Senator Balut, former Senator Balut, is so angry, he doesn't even know what to do with that anger that he has. And all he does is just lie and lie and lie. It's sad, Senator. It's a very sad story. So you people there in Maryland County, don't even believe him. What he's saying to you is not even true. That's a lie, and that's the only way he can get your votes or encourage you to come on his side, because he has not done anything for the county. He sat there for 9 years. He was paid. He didn't advocate for anything for you.
Running hotel business in Montserrat.
Yeah, he got all his hotels there.
In Maryland.
Yeah, he making money here. So when he gets
He's your
money,
senator.
no, he's not a senator. The people,
He was your senator.
Yeah, he was your senator.
But he ran all his business here.
Yeah, he making money in Monroe.
You check out one guest house there that the partnership health that gives him a lot of money, which of course he gives nothing back to the county.
Nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing.
That's what I'm saying. He ran all his business here. Forget
It's
about the
sad.
county, and he didn't employ.
And to the people of Bone County, it's sad. I know you're gonna come, Daniel, but health workers they shouldn't be politicians. If you want to be a politician and you want to campaign for your candidate, the best thing you can do is to get out there, get out of the hospital, go and campaign. I don't think anybody's going to stop you.
I totally agree.
The president of the Republic of Liberia, because we have a law, those people who were ministers in the government, because of the law, they gave them time. You have to resign your position and go and campaign, because you can be a sitting, minister or deputy minister, and then you're running in elections. So if you want to be a politician, if you're a nurse and you want to run campaign, you go and run campaign. But the saddest thing to do is to turn patients around because they don't support the candidate that you support. And you do that with so much arrogance, and you call yourself a doctor or a nurse. It's sad, because put that person's condition, put it in your shoes. Put yourself in that person's shoes. If I'm sick and I go to the hospital, all I want is attention from the nurse or the doctor. I don't care to know which party you support. You must treat me because that is where you are assigned. But if I go there, you have no business of asking me questions, who I support, who I don't support, and if I don't support your party, you don't help me. But it's sad. But to you people of Bone County, you just have to be patient. People are just doing all of these things because they think if they do that, they put you against the president. That is their intention. So don't allow what they want to happen, because they're not doing it because they love you. They are doing it because they want you to get angry, and then you go against the president. But this president is your president, is the person who has your everything at heart. He wants nothing but good for the people of Liberia, and Bone County is also a part of Liberia. But those people, they're there, and the only way they can come to power is by treating you bad. Then you will get angry with your own president. So don't mind them. How long? Elections is next week, Tuesday, and all of this thing will be over.
Then let's get you into the second.
Yeah, so to the people of Bond County, I just have a message that I want to pass. Titi have already said to you that the issue of politics has got nothing over the different medical facilities in that county. We know that the medical director tried to make a comparison with the health minister. The difference is that the health minister is a cabinet minister
So she's a presidential
that works at the will and pleasure of the president, and she's not an actively in hospital practicing doctor like every day.
No.
If Dr. Jala was a medical administrator, she wouldn't do what she's doing in terms of identifying what party. But in as much as that, she's not politically segregative. Dr. Jala works at the Ministry of Health with many people who are not even from the coalition for democratic change, and she's very tolerant and work with them. But what happened today was that
I beg you, let me hold you there. You said the woman said Dr. Jala is on the poster. That signifies that she's campaigning, but that is not true because she is the Minister of Health.
But that's what I said.
The poster she was talking about
is for surgery.
No, the poster is where all of the hospitals that were built
by the president.
President George Weah has turned you. Those hospitals are put on the billboard. Who is the health minister? Who is the Minister of Health? Whose picture should be there?
Dr. Jala.
And he used that as the health minister is campaigning. Who does that?
I think the medical director is misinformed, and also, but there's something that happened today that I wanted to inform the people of Bond County. So the health minister was in studio yesterday. She was dispatched by the president to go to Bond County to have a sit down with the health workers because according to Dr. Jala, they had a concern. So the vice president was involved with this consultation. And Dr. Jala went to Bond County today, and she was welcomed and received by the aggrieved health workers. And she sat in a meeting with them, and they presented to her a petition of what they want done. The petition has not been exposed because it's supposed to be given to the office of the president. So Dr. Jala will tomorrow, after the president must have reviewed the petition, she will now come and inform the people of Bond County. But according to what Dr. Jala says, the meeting went well, and everything is supposed to be back on course as usual. All the parties that were aggrieved and were involved in these activities, they met today, and the decisions reached, they all agreed to go back to the usual work habit. And we hope and pray that the condition there improves. So for our people in Bond County, go ahead with your normal activities. Go back to the hospital. Go and give it, your best shot. The president, in his own wisdom, sent the health minister, not angrily again, but judiciously to address the matter. And she was there all day today addressing the issue. They had it, according to them, I think it was a 2 or 3 count petition that is submitted to her. And these petitions are not as what people thought the issue of harmonization and what have you. But tomorrow, by God's power, the president may have reviewed the petition, and the health minister will speak to the people of Bond County through the same means tomorrow. So until then, just continue doing what you're doing.
That is what they should have done.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of causing all of that.
Believe
again, somebody has
believe in the president's leadership. The president is gonna get us sailing. So
yeah, I
that's
like
good.
that.
He's gonna get us sailing.
A man of peace.
Yeah.
So he
He's
wants
gonna get us sailing.
Peace to prevail.
Yeah. So that is it for tonight. It was a great interaction, and we look forward to continuing the week. A couple of days from now, we'll be talking elections, and so all of these things will have to be said to the people to ensure that President George Weah and his leadership have a continuation of the many developments that the Liberian people are seeing. So until we meet tomorrow, it was a beautiful conversation.
Thank you very much.
Join us, God willing, tomorrow when we will be here again. Thank you to all of you who made it your duty to join us either by our social media platform or via your radio. I always like to end like this and say to you that if you support President Weah and you want him to be the next president of the Republic of Liberia, the president and next president for a second term, you have to get up on next Tuesday, go to the polls and make your vote count. All of these 857,000 voters, you have an obligation with all of these huge endorsements. We are saying you have to make your votes count. It's just one day, make it count and just relax on the evening. Leave it with us. We will tell you, the numbers and you will just drink your champagne.
From the east to the west, north to the south, let's come together at home. They say you're not there, we stand, the battle we fight. If we not celebrate, we do it for you. Voila, you forget that. You from Lower Country, you from Maryland. Voila, you from Rewa Sessu. I'm a bastard, we own your people. I'm up on the fine way. Tabila, I love Liberia, oh yeah yeah. Free land and liberty, Liberia, oh yeah yeah. Oh yeah, I love Liberia, oh yeah yeah. Play for me and you, Liberia, oh yeah yeah. Oh yeah yeah.
I was raised in the swamp, but I chilled with my guns. Kept it on the low, but we fought for the bones. True son of the soil, I'm a prince in my own. Never gonna lie, me, I love LIB. Even though it's far, when we show them, we can face it. It's not a prophecy, I know that we can rise again. Holding my hand, I holding your own. United, we stand, divided, we fall. July 26, when I count with ball, when I chillin' on that side, and I get no bro. I got L to the O to the V and the E. If we fighting together, we can